Hey guys, good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you are tuning into the channel today. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you being here, for all of your support on the channel that y'all have given me. I just wanted to hop on here today. We're going to do another video of another Bearded Knife Guy K-Bar cleanup. For my birthday, I received another one of the knives for my collection. I received the K-Bar 1181, which is a small folder with a lockback mechanism on it. It's a little bit smaller than the 1182 that we did the other day, but you guys will see just how small it is here in just a few minutes. But that puts us one step closer to completing this collection. It actually leaves me with one knife that is needed to complete the actual collection, not counting the 2 additional knives I want to add to it. In the video, you'll hear me say that I need the 1004 K-Bar. I actually was thinking that that was incorrect, so I went back and looked. It is incorrect. I actually need the 1002 K-Bar, and I'll put it right here, but it'll also be the correct knife in the video as you guys are looking. So again, thank you guys for tuning into the channel today, and I hope you enjoy the video. All right guys, welcome back for another episode of Clean the K-Bar. So today we are going to be working on this K-Bar Classics 1182. This is part of the K-Bar Classics collection that I'm currently working on. Recently we cleaned up the K-Bar 1181, which is a little bit larger than this. It's a little bit larger lockback hunter, or I say lockback hunter, but it is their slightly larger lockback knife. This as well is a lockback. It's got great snap. Locks out well. Other than the tarnishing on the brass, this knife is in really good condition. Still looks like it has the factory edge. Doesn't look like it's really been cut with or sharpened, but there is some buildup, some oxidation on it. I picked this up for my birthday from my amazing wife. She had ordered this for me because this was one of the ones I was needing for my collection. So I am currently one away from completing the actual collection. I need the 1002, and I'll put that one right up here. And that's the one I need to finish out this actual collection. There are a couple other knives that I want to add to the collection. One of them is their sod buster, and one of them is a fixed blade knife. But we're going to go ahead and hop into cleaning this guy up. I don't think it's going to take a whole lot. Again, the blade's in really great shape. Mainly it's a focus on sanding the brass and the handles, getting that all cleaned up, oiled up, and then once we get everything done, as usual, we'll hit it with a sunshine cloth before we put it into the collection with the rest of them. So I'm going to go ahead, take a little break, get everything set up, and whenever I come back, we'll jump into it. And we're back. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with our Dremel, with our little wire head brush. Just going to kind of go over the brass at a slower rate. We don't have to turn it up real high. This is what I normally would do, just kind of start to work on that brass, get up some of that tarnish. Makes it a little bit easier whenever I'm sanding to just kind of come over it. I like to use this. Go ahead, hit the pins. I ain't really worried about the wood so much because I am going to be sanding over the wood. So it's going to get some little scratches on it, but it'll be all right. I just like the way that this metal brush head cleans those pins off real good. Again, we'll come back over it. We'll clean all that scratches out. Get it all polished up. You'll never even know that it was hit with the wheel. One thing that concerns me is some of this buildup right here on the actual brass, but I'm hoping it'll all polish out pretty quick. One thing I am going to try to do on this video compared to the last one is I'm going to try to limit how much of this that I do that is repetitive. and try to shorten this video up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and work ahead using my Dremel and the steel head brush. Go ahead and hit these bolsters, and then I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so just kind of ran over the whole knife with the Dremel and the steel brush. Just used a little bit of water to cool it down as I was going over it, so didn't heat up too much. But now we're going to start on the part that I really enjoy. We're going to start with the sanding portion of it. We'll do the inside of it last. I've got some sandpaper here. I'm going to use 320 to clean the wheel. There's not a whole lot built up in there. But as always, we're going to start with 400 grit, and then we're going to work our way up all the way to 5,000 on the exterior, giving the knife a nice polished bolsters and bringing out the grain structure in the actual wood, the rosewood handles. So I'm going to start off, like I said, 400 grit. I try to work in one direction. Try to keep my scratches flowing in the same direction always. That way it limits the amount of actual scratches that I have to go back over. But hit it with the 400, then 6, 8, 1,000, 12, 15, 2,000, and then 3,000 and 5,000. But this time I'm going to try to save a little bit of you guys' time. I know it's valuable, and so once I get done with the 400 here, I'll probably go ahead and work on forward, at least on up to 1,000. That way it cuts down on some of the time you guys are having to sit here watch me do the same thing over and over again. So just want to get this initial sanding done on the 400 grit. It's going to start taking off some of the brass, as you can tell. It's all right. Just want to take off a lot of that top coat, get a lot of those surface scratches and imperfections out. In some cases, if it's real bad scratches, I might go down to 320 or 240. I try not to go any lower than that, really, and I honestly try to not have to go that low, period. But sometimes it does call for it. So once I get this here sanded out real good with the 400, I will pause and go ahead and work forward to 1,000, and then check back on it and see what the progress looks like at that point. But just like the last one we did, guys, I think this one's going to turn out pretty amazing as well. I've really grown quite fond of the Ka-Bar Classics. I think they're great little workhorse knives. I mean, they're not anything fancy. They're not Stag or special styles, but they're just beautiful knives. I really love them. So that's where we're at with 400. I'm going to go ahead and pause at this time. I'm going to work on ahead, and then when I get up to 1,000, I'll come back. All right, guys, so we've just finished sanding up to 1,000 grit. I know it's hard to get the camera to focus in on it, but starting to turn out pretty nice. I'm going to continue to move on up to 1,200, 1,500, 2,000, and so on. And it takes a couple minutes. I mean, you're going to spend 2 to 5 minutes on each side, each grit, or at least just getting that surface real smooth. You'll start to feel the resistance change as you're sanding over it. I know a couple of you I've talked to in regards to sanding on the knives and stuff when you're working on trying to bring them back or restoring them. I know some of you guys have gotten a little nervous working on it, but that's why I prefer to do it by hand, because you can feel as it starts to loosen up, gets a little bit less resistance in there. Then I usually try to move on up to the next grit and repeat the process. The same goes for the blades as well. On the blades though, a lot of times, unless it's a polished blade, if it's just like a brushed finish or a satin finish blade, you know, anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 usually will suffice as far as the sanding needed. I know some of you have done some sanding on it with lower grits and you're kind of scared about the way that it looks, thinks that you might have messed it up, but trust the process. I know you sanded with like 400 or 600, but go ahead and work on up to 800 and 1,000 on the blade, and you'll start to notice a lot of those issues that you're having that look like imperfections will slowly start to disappear. A lot of those scratches made from the 400 and 600 grit will start to just kind of fade away, and your blade will start to look like it's supposed to again. You just gotta, biggest thing is stepping out of the comfort zone and trusting the process. Just keep on going. You don't have to push down too hard. The idea is just to take out the previous scratches you put in there from the lower grit, and as you work forward, they'll start to dissipate and you'll start seeing the progress on the blade as well as the handles and everything else like that. So don't get nervous, trust the process, persevere, keep moving forward, and the outcome at the end will definitely be worth it. But just like before, I'm going to go ahead and pause, work ahead. Right now I'm at 1,500 grit, so I'm going to head and I'm going to work ahead to 2,000, 3,000, and I'll come back as I'm working on the 5,000. All right, guys, so we've made it up to 5,000. As you can tell, you're already starting to get that shine, that polish on it. And one thing I will always reiterate to you guys, you know, do what you like. I like to see the polished out bolsters, especially with the rosewood. Some people like that brushed finish. I like the polished bolsters along with the wood grain. Once it's all oiled up and clean, I just like the way that it just pops. I know there's some people out there that even go further than I do, past the 5,000. I know Mr. George over at Second Chance George, he likes to take his to 10,000, and you want to see a mirror finish on those. The 10,000 is amazing. I may start doing that in the future. I don't currently have any 10,000 grit, but I have 5,000, so that's where I go to. But as you can tell, the 5,000 still creates a nice mirror finish. And then once I go through, oil it, and wax it and everything like that, I hit it with the sunshine cloth, and it just is basically like sanding with the 10,000 grit. Puts a nice mirror polish on everything like that. But you know, you don't have to go to 5,000 or even 3,000 if you don't want to. I mean, if you don't like the polished bolster look, do it to where you're comfortable. Do it to where you like. You like the brushed finish look, stop at, you know, 1,500, you know, 1,000, something like that. That's just my personal preference on the mirror finish. So what we're going to do now, because this thing has never had any oil, is I'm going to go ahead and spray it with my CLP. Just going to put a little bit. Well, honestly, I lied. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get my little screwdriver here, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of run it along the inside. Anything that might be loose in there, just kind of scrape it, pop it out. The same thing back here. Just anything that might be possibly built up in there. Sorry for hitting that camera. It's a constant battle. So that's where we're at with that. Go ahead and take my 320. I'm going to drop it down in that well. Just go ahead and sand out the inside well real good. Like I said, the well for the most part was pretty clean already, but if anything was on there, this will get it loose and we'll get it out of there. Go ahead and hit that front edge of the blade down there at the base of the tang, and then we'll go ahead and tap that out. So You can see it's pretty clean down in there. So now I'm going to come back with the CLP. Just kind of spray it down in there. At that time you can go ahead and rub it in on the handles. It's not going to hurt anything. It'll help lubricate that back spring. It'll start putting some moisture back into that handle. Work it into that pivot there. Because like I said, it's got the factory edge on it. Doesn't look like it's ever been cut with or sharpened, so it's probably never been oiled either. It's probably been sitting in a drawer or something like that. Other than the tarnish and stuff on this, I'd say once we're done, it'll be close to near mint. The only thing that I'm missing for it would be a box. I am a box guy. I like having boxes and paperwork with the knives. But this one did not have that, unfortunately. But other than that, it was in relatively good condition. So I'm going to let this sit on it for a couple minutes, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pause, take a little break. When I come back, we'll wipe it down. We'll go ahead and put some of the mink oil on it. Let that sit for a couple minutes. Then again, we'll wipe that down and then probably hit it with the sunshine cloth and call it good. So go ahead, take your break, get you something to drink, something to eat, whatever you feel like doing, and I'll be back in just a moment. All right, guys, so it's been sitting about 5 minutes. You thought you were going to get a break, but gotcha. You ain't going nowhere. We're going to go ahead and get this wiped down real fast. And we're going to move on to the next step. As you can see, that wood is already starting to shine, and the only thing that we've done to it so far other than sanding it is putting a little CLP on it. I love this oil because it does have cleaning properties, it has lubricating properties, and it has protection properties to help resist corrosion long term and things like that. So this is where we're at with the knife so far. I have not removed excess oil out of the well yet, so we'll go ahead and try to do that now. See if we can get this little rag down in there. And these little screwdrivers I use, guys, they work great even for these smaller knives. The wells on them can be pretty narrow and shallow. You can get these on Amazon. They're made by Stanley. They come in a 6-pack. I talked to one of my subscribers and a great friend that I talk to regularly, Mr. Jim. Over the weekend, he had asked me about them, and I told him where I'd originally got them, and he had actually found them on Amazon. I think they were about $7. So they're not the most sturdy of screwdrivers. They're little plastic handles with these small ends on them, but they work well getting down in the grooves of the knife well and stuff like that. So $7 on Amazon if you guys need some small screwdrivers to get in the wells to clean. So now that we've got the inside of the well wiped out pretty good, I'm going to go ahead, get my mink oil. And again, I don't recommend getting this on the blade. I would definitely say it's not food grade. This is used a lot on leather and stuff like that to help condition it and to help waterproof it. But I like the way that it works on the wood, the way that the moisture is absorbed into the wood, and it gives it a nice sheen afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead, get that on there real good, let it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then come back, wipe it all down, and hit it with the sunshine cloth, and we should be good. All right, guys, so we're back, and we're on the final stretch, headed home. So we're just going to take us a nice microfiber cloth, wipe down the handle really good, get all that extra oil off. Set for about 5 minutes or so it's absorbed into the handle a little bit. One thing I did notice whenever I was putting it on is some of that went down into the well, and I just want to wipe down in there. I don't want to leave anything in there that might possibly just cause some buildup in there. So just going to wipe that down one good time. And guys, I don't think I'm really going to do anything with the blade. The blade's in pretty good shape. It's got a couple little scratches on it just from wiping it with, the cloth and stuff like that. I mean, nothing major. So I don't think I'm going to do anything with the blade right now. I think it'll look fine in my collection. But the last step, we're going to hit it with the sunshine cloth. If you guys don't have one of these and you're big into collecting, you're going to be putting your knives up into displays and showcases or even knife books or whatever. I like to hit them with this. It really does an amazing job on the brass bolsters, on the nickel bolsters. It's just an amazing cloth, guys. I mean, you can get them on Amazon. I think you can buy them singly. I think they come in packs of 3, 5, something like that, or large pack of them. These things are definitely worth the money. Honestly, this one's getting to a point where it's about used up, and I don't know if there's actually a way you can clean it. But I definitely need to look into probably picking another one up here in the near future, because I use these anytime I clean up a knife that's going into my collection or into one of the display cases I have. I always like to hit it with the sunshine cloth before I put it up, and that way it's going to look its absolute best for as long as possible. And as you can tell, guys, that mirror finish on it is just outstanding. So that's where we're at. That is the finished product of the Ka-Bar 1181. This is the little brother of the 1182 that we did the other day. So this puts us one step closer to finishing out my Ka-Bar Classics collection. The only one now that I need is the 1002 that I showed you guys earlier in the video. So this concludes another episode of the Bearded Knife Guys official Ka-Bar cleanup video. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching today. Again, I thank each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel, all the support that you guys give me constantly. I would not be where I am without you guys. So again, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I hope that each and every one of you have an amazing week going forward. And I pray for blessings upon each and every one of y'all. So stay classy, and God bless.